What's up, fight fans? It's the TSD Alyas here, back again with another banger. And today we have a special guest. He is fighting on the second edition of Off the Hook Boxing Series, September 27th. 2 wins, undefeated, 2 knockouts. This is Baba Yaga. Please welcome Mr. Martravius Timmes. Martravius, how you
Hey,
doing
hey,
today, sir?
I'm doing good, bro. I can't complain, man. You see behind me is a beautiful day. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Hey, I got your name right this time. I
Yeah,
couldn't I couldn't I couldn't I couldn't butcher it again. I couldn't butcher it again,
I
man. I had to
appreciate
put
that,
some
man. I
respect on your
appreciate
name.
that. I appreciate that.
Of course, before we even get into the thing, I love the nickname, man. Baba Yaga. Where does that originate from?
So Baba Yaga came from when I entered the Tough Man tournament, and I went up 5 weight classes. It was a one night fight. Everybody was like 190 between 210, and I was walking in there probably like 140. And I defeated all the giants, and they end up calling me the Baba Yaga by the end of the night.
For sure, for sure. And for fans that don't know you yet, how did
Uh,
you get into the sport of boxing?
to be honest, man, I was just sitting at home one day, and I felt like it was more for me to do. And boxing always been a thing for me as a young kid, but I just never had the tools to actually step inside the gym. So once I finally had all the tools and I had that motivation, I was like, it's time for it.
For sure. And were you a big boxing fan growing up as a kid?
Not really. I was just a physical kid growing up, so I always try to look for outlets to, get that temperature blown off somewhere. So I had leaned more to combat sports.
For sure. And now September 27th, this Friday, you're fighting Isaiah Turner on Off the Hook 2. Talk to me about this matchup.
Man, this is a beautiful matchup, and I'm happy to have this matchup because I'm all about challenging myself. As y'all seen from the last series of Off the Hook, I went up 5 weight classes just to get the fight. So 147 is a new weight class for me as well. He has great ring experience, so I'm just ready to share the ring with him. And I know he's gonna bring the best out of me. And that's what I like. I always love challenging myself.
For sure. And what has been, you even on social media, you've been, calling for fights, itching for fights. What's been the biggest focus in training camp?
Just really just being active. Me and my coach, we go over everything. You know what I'm saying? We leave no rock unturned. You know what I'm saying? So we working on everything, bro. Everything. It's nothing I can say, oh, I've been working on this more. It's just really just developing all types of skills over time.
Yeah, and you mentioned this is at welterweight 147. You're naturally a 135, 140 pounder. Are you taking this fight just so you can stay active, or is it, really to, are you kind of trying to maybe establish welterweight as a weight that you might want to stay at?
Man, that's a beautiful question. That is a beautiful question. And to give you a beautiful answer, welterweight is a weight class that I might be tasting and making a stamp. But time will tell. Time will tell.
For sure. And your opponent Isaiah Turner, he was in he fought on the inaugural Off the Hook boxing event, just like you. He fought Corey Stokes in one of, in arguably the fight of the night. Did you have you rewatched that fight back and kind of, seen what you can expose?
My honest truth, no sir. No sir, because as a man, he's always out trying to get better. So I can't look off I cannot rely off the past and try to predict what's gonna happen Saturday from what he recently did. You know what I'm saying? So he probably rewatched that fight and seen mistakes that he made that he went back to the drawing board and corrected. So I can't go off of that because I'll be going off his mistakes and he'll be going off his mistakes that he have corrected.
For sure. And your last fight, you stopped Jamal Roby. Very dominant performance, even knocking him out of the ring in that fight. What was your biggest takeaways, now that we're several months after it?
My takeaways is just being entertained, giving the crowd something to take home. You know what I'm saying? A memory. And just just embracing the moment, bro. You know what I'm saying? Embracing that moment and don't look past it too fast because it's only that night that you have that moment.
For sure. And the Southeast, there's not a lot of high profile boxing promotions that are giving, you know, professionals, amateur boxers, really the limelight. Off the hook is really trying to bridge that gap. How important is it to be on these early cards of off the hook?
Man, it's amazing, bro. I'm thankful for just having the opportunity to just be that guy that they call on. You know what I'm saying? And it's a double door for boxing, bro. Especially down south. It's not a single door being open. It's a double door being open, bro.
For sure. And you're from Mobile, Alabama, correct?
Yes, sir.
The team that you're with, a lot of tough guys, a lot of good, a lot of good sparring that you're getting with, Brock Weaver, Josh Ricks, Frank Buntley. There's a lot of people that I could just name that goes on and
Yeah.
on. I don't want to disrespect, but there is a lot of guys, a lot of killers in that camp. How important have they been to your growth as a boxer?
Man. You know, Me and Frank always had run into different gyms before we actually started training together. It just, bro, it's levels to it, bro. Especially with my brother Blake, bro. It's levels to it, and we all sharpen each other, and we all help each other get better, bro. And I feel like where I'm at right now with skill level is shout out to my team, though, for real, for real.
Yeah, and speaking of your team, you have a lot. You have a couple guys from your team fighting on this card too. Josh Ricks is fighting. Logan Tillman's also on that card. Man, how does it feel to share this moment with them?
Man, it's amazing to be on a card with my brother Josh, and it's just amazing just to be on a card with the Cushion brothers, bro. Like that, it's going to be an explosive night, bro. The card is loaded. It got amazing fighters, and like I said, man, just being on there with my brother Josh is amazing, and just being on there with my boys, the Cushion, man, is that's the cherry on top right there, bro.
Yeah, and you mentioned it earlier. Fighting in those tough man tournaments. I think those are like 1 minute rounds. Kind of going balls to the wall. Fighting multiple times. What has been the adjustment from training for those tournaments to training pro boxing?
Patience, patience. You're not going in a professional fight. You're not going out there to slug for that minute. So you got to you got to have the patience. You got to have the comfortability. You know what I'm saying? Where you have to move around and you don't have to beat the time. I feel like in that tough man tournament, you got to beat the time. You gotta showcase so much talent in so much little time. Where in the professional, you have a little more time to get off. You know what I'm saying? You got a little more time to build how you want to win. You get what I'm saying? So in that tough man tournament, it's like give it all you got. So different things that I've done, I have just really just slowed down, and just really just focus on patience and comfortability.
For sure. And along with training boxing and pursuing this pro career, you also are balancing work. You're balancing a family. You're a family man as well. How important is it to kind of have a balance when it comes to work life?
Like I always tell my people, man, I live by this. You can always find another job, but you can never find another dream. You did what I'm saying? So when it comes to my job, everybody understands that I'm a professional fighter. So when things happen, things happen. When it comes to my family, I always make sure they in the best position because that would allow me to get off what I need to get off when I'm in training camp or when I'm preparing for a fight. So, you know,
For sure. And you know, everybody wants to be a world champion when they turn pro. Everybody is looking to fight at the highest level. The reality is, there's always something more that boxers. The reason why people go into boxing, whether it's getting out of a bad situation, whether
uh,
it's therapeutic. What's your biggest why for boxing?
my biggest prize boxing is it's a couple things: character, discipline, and just being on that straight path. Because with boxing, you have to be on a straight path. Is no other path when you walk in that boxing. So I'm a straight line guy where I love that boxing intertwines with my lifestyle that I live with already. Where I walk a straight path. There's no shortcuts. Everything is up a hill over a hump.
For sure. And Martravius, my last question for you is: what can fans expect when you step in the ring against Isaiah Turner on September 27th?
Fireworks, man. Fireworks. We coming out the back though, man. You know the slogan. We going out the back though. Fireworks, man, and just a memorable night. Like I said, I like to send people home with something to remember.
Baba Yaga is in the building. Martravius, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for everything. And I wish you nothing but the best on September 27th at Off the Hook Boxing Series 2.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it.